All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be talking about how the school community did $62,000 in cash collected in the first week, and basically how they are currently achieving $32,500 per month in MRR. This is a picture of me with Sam Ovens and Alex Hermosi at the Q4 2025 school games. This is the same creator that we won school games for. Currently now they are crushing it. They're in the spiritual space, and as you can see here, just for proof, this is a screenshot of their payouts back in October, how they did $62,000 in cash collected in basically their first week. Okay, so let me walk you through basically, and I've gone through this many times before, but basically what we're going to be talking about is the school launch and how it is the most crucial area of actually launching a successful school community that can get you from $0 to $25,000, $0 to $35,000, instead of you launching a community and it only doing maybe a couple $1,000s in its first week, right? Obviously, a couple grand is great, but if you can make 10 or 20 in comparison to 2 or 3, that's always a good option. Okay, so the first step is your school setup here. When we're talking about school setup, you want to keep it extremely simple. I think way too many people get caught up in this and they start overcomplicating the entire process when it comes to actually setting up their school community. So what you need to focus on is basically your branding, your courses, your calendar, and your About Us page. You should this should take you no longer than a week to 2 weeks, because when you are putting together your branding, when you're putting together your calendar, your About Us page, all of the stuff internally inside of the school community, everything outside of the courses, that stuff is super simple. People, again, they overcomplicate it. They think that like people are joining your community because you have really good graphics or a good logo or good branding, like whatever it may be. It's just not the case. People are buying into your community because they're buying into you as a creator, and they're buying into the results that your community is going to provide them. Okay? You need to be focusing on the results. That is the key here. So after you've got done your branding, your calendar, your About Us page, then you can start working on your courses. The courses is what's going to take you the most time to put together with your community, but it's a really easy process that you can put together these courses with. And all you basically need to do is utilize a platform called Loom. You can use Loom to basically record your screen and be able to record yourself talking to the camera and talking about the course modules that you are trying to explain. Okay? Now, when you are walking through modules, again, people overcomplicate this. They go into Canva, they make these big, beautiful slides. It takes them forever to make one course. That is not what your goal is here. You want to get people as good results as possible, but you want to get them those results as soon as possible as well too. So the easiest way to do that is by literally just writing down your modules using something like Notion or a Word document. So all of your modules will have a different Word document, and you can just basically break down those Word documents in the Loom video itself. Okay, so how would this basically look? Before you build your course, you would lay out the framework. How can you go take somebody from A to Z, from where they're currently at, to basically the results that they're trying to achieve in the most simple, straightforward fashion possible? Okay? You write down all that content on a Word document, you go download Loom, and you start recording, and you start walking through this course content. That's it. You should be able to film anywhere from like 10 to 12 modules per day, depending on how long your modules and how in-depth your modules really are. But realistically, like 10 to 12 modules a day, it sounds like a lot, but it's not. And you'll be able to get done your entire course in a week at least, okay? So you can use AI like I have listed here. Use Claude. I recommend using Claude just because it's my favorite for AI. It's better than ChatGPT. I personally love it for building out courses and helping me build new ideas and everything. So like I mentioned, 2 weeks to set up your community, another 3 to 4 weeks to maybe create, film, and edit your course content. I would just get this done as soon as possible. Like it should take you no longer than a month to put together a really high-end community. And then the other thing that you need to realize is once your community is built, it's always a work in progress. It's always a work in progress. You are always going to be adding to it. You're always going to be subtracting the fluff. You're always going to be changing graphics, changing pieces of modules, adding new modules, things like that. So don't get caught up in thinking like you need to be a perfectionist when you put together the first draft of your school community. Okay? So step number 1, build a school. Step number 2. This is the big part about launching a community, which is going to be your pre-marketing. Now, your pre-marketing is really, really important because basically you want to get as big of an audience and as much attention as possible onto what it is that you are releasing, which is basically your school community. Okay? So here's a couple things that you need to take into consideration. You need to do an email warm-up Okay, so if you are on social media right now, you need to be building an email list. You can do this in a few different ways. You can do something like many chats where people can comment a word, and I'll send you this lead magnet, or I'll send you this thing, right? So you can do it that way on social media. You can build a landing page on something like Go High Level as well too. My link is below for Go High Level. I do get rewarded for it as a creator, but Go High Level is awesome. It's an all-in-one sales and marketing platform. Basically, it'll allow you to build those landing pages, and it'll allow you to send off emails for those lead magnets that you are trying to use to collect emails, okay? So you need to do some sort of an email warm-up. You need to do a YouTube announcement or an Instagram announcement or a Facebook announcement. I prefer YouTube. YouTube is where you're going to build the most high-end and highly intelligent audience, I would say. Everybody on these short-form platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, it's all brain rot content. People are just so influenced to just keep on scrolling. YouTube people are actually coming to sit down and watch your content to learn something. So this is a much higher end audience. So you need to make a YouTube announcement. You need to consistently make YouTube content and let people know that something is coming, which is going to be this event launch that you are launching. You need to make social media announcements. So every time that you're posting on YouTube, make sure you're posting on social media, post on your Instagram stories or Facebook stories, make posts about it, carousels, whatever you can do, just build hype. That's what I can say about this pre-marketing stage is you are literally just building hype and announcing that something big is coming, okay? So announce something big is coming, create a lead magnet to grow your email list, and then the KPI that you should be aiming for is just aim to be adding like 2,500 new contacts to your email list. If you add 2,500 new contacts to your email list in a short period of time, I can guarantee you, you will convert a lot of these people into new paid Skool community members, okay? Now, step number 2, your event launch. The event launch is really key here because it's an event, okay? Now, most people will just make social media content and they'll say, hey guys, just launched a Skool's community, come join it. It's $50 a month. And that's kind of it. They think that that's enough. They think that that is marketing right there. And sometimes it works. Like maybe if you have a bajillion followers, maybe that can convert pretty well. But it doesn't matter where you're at right now. If you have a small following, if you have no following, or if you have a large following, doing an event launch is going to hands down outperform any other way and method of marketing to scale up your Skool community in a very fast and efficient period of time. And the reason for it is it allows you to warm people up with everything that you're doing. You're warming people up in the pre-marketing. You're getting them excited about this event that you're launching. And then when the event launches, I recommend making the event at least 1 or 2 episodes. 1 episode is totally fine. 2 episodes if you want to really build up hype, right? But you launch this YouTube event and you have an email campaign basically reminding people about this YouTube event and notifying people when these episodes are going live. After your last and final episode goes live, so if you have 1 episode, you're going to go live on YouTube right after, or you're going to go live on Instagram, wherever you're hosting this event. Again, I recommend YouTube. Once your episode goes live, you are going to go live on that platform of wherever your event was. So if your event was on Instagram, you're going to go live right after on Instagram. If your event was on TikTok, you're going to go live on TikTok. If your event was live on YouTube, you're going to go live on YouTube. And then basically from there, you want that 1 episode to basically entertain and educate your viewer. And the framework that you want to follow with this YouTube event is going to follow the following. Okay, I'm gonna dive deep into this because this is really important. You need to first identify the problem. So what is the problem? The problem is what you are trying to solve for people with the value of your content. So if you run a making money community with e-commerce brands, okay? The problem is most e-commerce brand owners, they don't understand how to scale their ads. They don't know how to scale up their organic content. They want to get more sales. They're struggling with sales. That's the problem. So you need to identify the problem, call that out. The next step is to deepen the problem. So ask yourself, what happens if this problem does not get solved? What happens not only to their bank account, what happens as a result of their bank account not growing? What's their lifestyle look like? What's their capacity look like? How much time in their lives do they have now? How much less options do they have in their life? Like you really have to paint the picture, right? It's kind of like when people are selling these courses and they're trying to get people to paint a picture of like, if I can help you make $1 million a year, like imagine what your lifestyle could look like. It's kind of flipped. It's the opposite. You have to ask yourself, if you don't solve this problem, what is your life going to look like if you don't solve this problem? It's probably going to be the same and it's probably going to get worse, right? So that's deepening the problem. The next step is to identify the results if people don't solve the problem, and then you need to present the solution, okay? Present the solution, that's it. The solution is the value of your Skool community. That is it. Go into the value of the Skool community, talk about the results, and talk about what their life can look like if they actually solve that problem. Now, this episode should be ideally very detailed in terms of training, yet simple in the way that you communicate. This video should not feel like a sales video, okay? It is very much framed like a VSL or a video sales letter, but it should not feel salesy. It should feel very genuine and authentic to the type of content that you already currently make. You need to speak as if you are trying to communicate to a 10-year-old. I cannot stress this enough. You have to understand, people online, I genuinely think people's frontal lobes are not developed and they're getting fucking worse as time goes on, because people are just like, they're constantly bombarded with social media content. They are just so like bombarded with like brain rot. Like they're just, it's insane. It's an insane world we live in. So you need to literally treat everybody online as if they are 10 years old, and you need to communicate to them as if they were 10 years old. Okay. You need to invoke emotion and ideally fear at the beginning of this video. Again, when you identify the problem and you deepen that problem, you need to bring out that fear of them. You need to paint the picture so crystal clear in their head that if they do not solve this issue, they are ultimately, for a lack of better terms, fucked. Okay? That is all you're trying to do. That's all you're trying to do, is you're trying to identify the problem, deepen the problem, make them think they're fucked. And then once they think that way, present the solution. Give them the solutions. Like literally tell them what they need to do to solve this problem. Like don't just like breadcrumb them and, lead them on. Give them the solutions. Tell them what the solutions are, and then give them the option. Give them the option of, listen, you can go off on your own and try to figure this out yourself, or you can follow a proven system that I have built. I have solved this problem myself. I have solved it for other people, and I've literally laid out the path for you to solve it for yourself in a very simple manner inside of my Skool community. That's it. That is literally it. Now, after that event launch happens, post-marketing, this is super important. You need to have a 30-day email sequence go live. So you're sending emails, not every single day, but maybe it's every 2 days, every 3 days, every 4 days, right? You can kind of like differentiate the timeline of when you're sending emails. But you need to send that email sequence to, again, nurture people who've come to your event, who have shown up to your event, and make those touching points to convince them to come in. And then I would recommend going live a couple times after your YouTube event. As well too. Again, it's just a really good way of you to show your authenticity, to be genuine, to connect with your audience, people who've tuned into the event as well too. And then if you want to, this is an option, you can run retargeting ads. If you have a little bit more money in the bank and you're trying to allocate a little bit more funds to it, you can run retargeting ads. If you posted this video on your YouTube channel, you can retarget people who have watched that YouTube video. If you've posted the event to your Instagram or your Facebook, you can retarget your Instagram and Facebook audiences, stuff like that. Okay. I have a video diving into the types of ads that you can be running for retargeting and running for Skool on my channel, so you can go check out that. But this is basically some of the different sort of concepts that you should be providing with your ad content. So very direct ads, selfie and UGC, proof, demos, and then handling objections, okay? You need to maximize on traffic. The goal is to maximize on the traffic your event generated with the post-marketing. So if you had a total of 25,000 impressions or 25,000 views on your entire event, you want to maximize on that viewership and get as many of those people as possible into the Skool community. And then basically there, you're just selling like crazy, okay? The following is totally up to you, right? But again, running retargeting ads, you can have a onboarding call, whether you are doing it or whether you hire a CSM, which is a customer support manager, to handle those onboarding calls. You can do DM outreach. You can share those client testimonials, and then up your posting volume 2x. Okay, whatever you're posting right now, if you're posting once a day, start posting twice a day. If you're posting 2 times a day, post 4 times a day. Like just up these posting volume. It sounds crazy, but you need to do it. Okay? That is basically it. That is literally, this is the exact process that we followed for this creator who was basically in a spiritual niche, and how we basically got him to the point where when he launched his episode, he was able to generate $62,000 in cash collected in the first week. And then after that, it just completely blew up, right? He's doing $32,500 per month right now. And he's stayed steady out there for a very long time, right? So that is it. Skool setup, pre-marketing, event launch, post-marketing. That is literally it. If you guys follow these systems thoroughly, I promise you, you will see immense growth in your Skool community, far beyond you just launching your Skool community and telling your followers, hey guys, I just launched a Skool community, come join. I'm telling you right now, that's not going to work. People have seen that before. The only people who are falling for that are people who follow like these massive influencers. Like if Kim Kardashian launched a Skool community, sure, she's probably going to have a bajillion people join, okay? But you're not Kim Kardashian. You're just regular old you, and you need to figure out a way to be creative in terms of convincing people that the value that you offer in your Skool community is worth it for them to join the Skool community. And that is basically it. All right. If you guys have questions, I have tons of videos on my channel that are completely free and they're super detailed, just like this one, breaking down how you can basically launch your Skool community, how you can launch ads, how you can grow your Skool community, make more money from your Skool community. If you are someone who doesn't have a Skool community and you want to start one, scroll down. My link is in the description. You can start a Skool community using my link. And then once you do that, you can be able to tune into all of my videos, subscribe to the channel. I'll help you guys out as much as possible. I'm here to give you guys as much free value as possible that is actually good value. Like, you should not have to come pay $10,000 to learn this stuff. I'm just sharing this for free because we do it as a agency for our creators that we work with. So follow this to a T. I'm telling you, you will thrive. Okay. Link down below if you want to start a Skool community. Link down below if you wanted to start a Go High Level account as well too, so you can build out all of your marketing and sales operations in the back end of your Skool community. And if you guys have any questions, drop them below. I'm happy to help, and I will see you guys in the next one.